Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back! So right now I'm gonna show you the spec that's gonna get nerfed. So have fun with it while it lasts. Maybe it's just gonna last on the PTR, but I think it is actually gonna hit the live servers because Blizzard have a tendency of doing these silly things. And it happened before with, I don't know if you guys remember Fan of Knives in Wrath of the Lich King, where you could spam Fan of Knives and interrupt everything AoE. It was like they gave it a buff and then they nerfed something. I forgot exactly how it was, but pretty much in the end they ended up with something they didn't want, they didn't expect. And I feel like this is exactly what's gonna happen to Shadow Priest. And let me explain. Now, first of all, let me explain what the spec is. And a lot of you have guessed in the comment of the video before the last one. And it is, yep, it's Edge of Insanity. And I'll tell you why Edge of Insanity is so much broken now than it is on live. Okay, so to go Edge of Insanity spec, we will go Mania because Mania has been buffed. So at 100 Insanity, we will have 33% movement speed non-stop all the time. So you almost have body and soul non-stop, which is sick. What else do we need? This one doesn't really matter. It's all about comp. This one, pretty obvious. Not lingering insanity because we're never hitting void form. Reaper of Souls. I'm actually considering going void ray here, and I will because the spec is all about damage. Again, it's all about the comp you play against as well. For instance, right now, if you would play against a let's say a Walking Dead or something that locks you down like TSG, obviously it's pointless to go Void Ray because the little time you have to actually cast, you're not going to cast Mind Flay, you're going to cast other things. So you're going to go Reaper of Souls. But if you play against like a Wizard Cleave, I think it's actually safe to go Void Ray. Because if you get to cast everything as much as you want, you will do insane damage with Void, like with everything. You will see. Now in this one, this is tricky. We're not gonna go Auspicious Spirit. It's crap. We don't need Insanity Generation. Shadowy Insight might be very good because we're probably gonna stick to Psychic Link, but I'm not exactly sure. But I think just for the sake of pure heavy duty damage, we're gonna go back to Sand Lane. Yeah. And I'm gonna stay Shadow Crash because it scales so well with Edge of Insanity. But then again, if you play against something that you can pretty much PvE against and they have no or not too many D-spells, Power Infusion will be more damage overall, I think. But Shadow Crash is nice. Like you do crazy damage with Shadow Crash and Edge, you'll see. And then here, obviously, we're gonna go Mind Spike because this is unusable and this is pointless because we never hit Void Form. So yeah, Mind Spike is literally the only talent here for this spec. Next we have a Medallion. And this is where Train of Thought, yes boys. No, actually for Arena and Duels and everything, you'll go Mind Quickness. But for BGs, for RBGs, trust me, go Train of Thought. Just, if it's not procced, so if you get attacked, you lose a little bit of damage. But if it procs, like if you don't get attacked, oh my god, you do retarded damage with Train of Thought, Edge, and Shadow. I'll tell you how they scale, but trust me, if you have a chance of triggering Train of Thought, play Train of Thought in BGs. But for Arena, you will never get it, so Mind Quickness it is. Next up, again, it's all about comp. Though Fleeting, oh my god, Fleeting Embrace in RBGs with this spec is crazy good. But I'll stay Void Shield for this example. Here we have, obviously, Edge of Insanity, because that's what the spec is all about. And then we have, now here it depends. If you go Sand Lane, like I did, you want to go Shadow Mania. Psychic Link obviously loses half of its value because we never go in Void form and we're never gonna have Void Bolt. So it's all about Mind Blast. And I don't know, I don't think it's worth it. I think Sand Lane might actually top Shadowy Insight here. But I'm not exactly sure about this. But anyway, if you go Sand Lane, go Shadow Mania. If you go Shadowy Insight, you go Psychic Link, probably. But I would stay Shadow Mania. Shadow Mania, yeah. Because Vampiric Touch does crazy damage. It does more damage with Sand Lane, and it heals more with Shadow Mania. So I think this is the way to go. And then in the last tier, again, it matters what comp you play and blah, blah, blah. It has nothing to do with the rest of the spec, but for most cases, go Siphoned. Right, so why is this spec so good? Well, let me tell you exactly what happened in patch 7.15. So they said, okay, we're gonna transfer some power from void form over to the normal form, okay, just shadow form. And they decided to do this after they removed lingering insanity. So the reason why you would not go Edge of Insanity before was, the main reason was you would lose your haste, which you now no longer have anyway. So that reason is gone. The other reason was the damage boost you would get was probably not worth the damage you lose, since you lose Void Bolt, you lose the, what's it called? The dot refresh, which by the way is removed again as well. So that's another reason to go Edge of Insanity. So there's like Void Bolt is not as good, Lingering Insanity is no longer in the game, and also the damage got scaled down from Void form and scaled up in your normal form, which means you deal even more damage in Edge and even less damage in Void form now. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'll tell you exactly, like, number-wise. So Void form used to be 30% damage increase, and Edge of Insanity used to be 30% damage increase as well. Like, when they made Edge of Insanity, their thought was, okay, let's have the priest do as much damage in Edge of Insanity as he would in Void form, but then when he wants the burst, like when he wants the Void Torrent, he pops Void Eruption and then he does damage. And there was no reason to go Edge of Insanity then, because you would want to go Void form as soon as you can, because PvP is PvE, pretty much. But then 7.1 came, and 7.1 added Shadow form. And this is actually in the game right now, and I was gonna make a video about it, but hello? Okay. But I don't know, I didn't do it. Right now, right now in the game, not on the PTR, Edge of Insanity is 10% more damage than Void form. Yeah. Actually, it's more. It's 13% more damage. Because Edge of Insanity stacks with Shadow form, and not a lot of people know this, whereas Void form replaces Shadow form. And right now on the PTR, Void form is 20% increased damage, down from 30, and we have more damage in the normal Shadow form. I hope all this makes sense, but it's pretty much Void form is 20% more damage, whereas Edge of Insanity is 43% more damage, because it stacks on top of Shadow form. And I have the proof right here. Here's the proof. I made this gear setup. I'm kind of naked, but it's okay. So right now, if I go out of Shadow form, you will see my Mind Blast deals 100,000 damage. You can completely ignore the last 3 digits, because unless I do, what, 800% more damage, they're gonna have 0 impact. So you can just look at the 100. Okay, so I do 100,000 damage with Mind Blast. Now if I hit Shadow form, that's 10% more damage, so I should have 110, right? Yeah, it works, 110. Now, if I go into... wait, let me actually change my spec real quick just so I make this easier for myself. I'll go Shadow Word Void. Actually, it's on my bar right there. Because I don't want Twist of Fate, because then you'll say, oh yeah, but you have Twist of Fate, and that's another modifier, and whatever. And I'll go Legacy of the Void as well. Just make it easier for myself. Okay, so... Alright. Now, if I hit Void form, it's gonna be 20% more damage, but it is going to replace Shadow form. So it's gonna be, instead of 110, it's gonna be 120. Pretty simple, right? See, 120,000 damage. Easy. Okay. But when you go Edge of Insanity, you will have 10% more damage from Shadow form, and then you will have 30% increased damage on top of that, and it's 30% of 110%, so that means I will have 143,000 damage on Edge of Insanity. And let's test it. But the thing is, Edge of Insanity, because I tested it before, Edge of Insanity kind of bugs on this dummy. This is a PvP dummy, but I will have Edge of Insanity for a second, then it will go away because it's bugged. But obviously in PvP, like in Arena or BGs, it doesn't go away. So right now I have 110 because Shadow form, and I'm gonna get Edge of Insanity, and now mouse over. 143, yeah, see, it bugs. But you could see it's 143%. So literally, with Edge of Insanity, I mean, you also move super fast. Look at this. I'm sprinting all the time. Yeah. So we have 143% permanent damage. Holy shit! That's a lot of damage, in case you didn't realize. That's like always having a berserker buff on yourself, and even more. That's 23% more damage than in void form. In freaking void form. And you don't lose any haste. The only thing you lose is void bolt. That's all you lose. So I think this spec is gonna be the best spec in terms of pure just raw damage. Plus there's no, you know, getting shut down while void form bullshit. It's once you hit that 100 insanity in arena, you will always do max damage. And I don't know if you guys understand how broken that is. It is insanely broken. It's like a warrior having recklessness non-stop. It's even more than that. It's like insane damage. The sad part is I can't exactly show you in arena because, I mean, I will, but I'm lagging really hard when I play arena. And plus the queue is gonna be like 5 minutes. But the problem with this spec, especially in 2v2 against double DPS, I will not get to 100 insanity. Yeah, it's just pointless to queue. I'm not even gonna queue. I'm just gonna embarrass myself. Like, you can't get to 100 insanity with this spec in 2v2. Like, you probably can, but I have to struggle. I have to play void shift just to get there, and then once I'm there, I'm already dead. So I do struggle a bit to get to 100 insanity. But look at how much, and you have so many modifiers. Like you do. So you have 143% damage. And then you have another 20% damage from Twist of Fate. And if you can get everything in RBGs, you have Train of Thought as well, which is another 15%. Let me show you how much damage I do with my regular gear, right? So this is PvE gear, so it's cheating a bit. Let's see how much damage my Vampiric Touch does. Okay, right now it says 900,000 damage. Okay, this is PvE gear, so that's why it's so much. Let's see. Look, Shadow Crash. Okay, Shadow Crash is a good example. 450,000 damage. Let's do some damages on this guy. Already with these two up, Mind Flay with Void Raid deals 300,000 damage, which is a lot. Vampiric Touch does 1.3 million damage now. Shadow Crash does 500,000 damage. Now let's hit Void for let's hit Void Insanity thing. Edge of Insanity. Look at this. 800,000 damage. 1.6 million damage. Look at this. Boom. Okay, let's put a Vampiric Touch up. It ticks for 200k almost. And again, obviously this is okay. Now my Edge of Insanity bugged out because I told you it bugs out on this dummy. But obviously you're not gonna get that crazy numbers, but we can actually test exactly the numbers we would get in arena, because I have this set up here. Where is it? Arena Sim, where, god damn it, come on. Why am I in combat? Hello? Okay, so in this setup I simulate all the stats I have in arena, like intellect and everything. It's pretty accurate, I would say. Like at 885-ish item level, this is the stats you would get. So let's see how much damage you deal. And I'm not gonna cheat too much. Should I cheat? Okay, let's cheat. Let's do max damage, you know, for that thumbnail. Okay, so let's see how much damage we can deal with some abilities. Can I actually proc my thing? No, it doesn't work. Okay, so I need to reset my insanity. It's bugged. It's just a stupid dummy. Okay, so right now my Vampiric Touch does 1 million damage, and this is void form. This is not Edge of Insanity, because Edge of Insanity is more damage than this, and you will see how much it is. And again, this is bugged, so we'll only get to see this for a second. But in arena, once you hit your 100 insanity, you're fine. Like, you don't have to ever worry about generating insanity or anything else. Okay, so right now, Edge of Insanity up, 1.1 million damage Vampiric Touch, 600,000 damage Shadow Crash. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I mean, damn, that's a lot of damage if you ask me. That's 1.2 million damage Shadow Crash. And this is arena Like, I have no gear, look at my gear. But granted, I'm cheating a little bit by using Train of Thought and not Mind Quickness. So this is what you can expect in BGs. In BGs, you can actually VT everything, and you will do insane damage. So that's it. I think this spec is gonna get nerfed. I think they're gonna just nerf, straight up nerf Edge of Insanity. It's gonna be 20% increased damage instead of 30, which is still gonna put it above Void Form in damage, in raw damage. But then Void Form, you know, you have the haste, you have the Void Bolts, and you know, it's not that big of a difference in the damage anymore, so it might not be as good. But right now, the way it looks, I think this is gonna be the most damaged spec in the game. And that's it. Tell me what you guys think. I don't like this spec too much. I hope this doesn't become flavor of the month. And the noise is starting again. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. See ya. /bye. Bye-bye.